Hi Leo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic Growth spread as always. And I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So, do that. Okay, so we have 3. That's third house communication, siblings, short distance trips. And your third house is actually in Libra, so there's not really anything going on there astrologically speaking. But of course, we are going to have Mercury retrograde in June, so that'll definitely impact communication. All right, we also have Mars, and Mars will actually be moving into your sign around the middle of June. It's currently in your 12th house. And we have Leo, so you guys. So the focus will definitely be on you guys this month. All right, so with that in mind, we'll move on to your main spread. The main situation position, we had a few cards come up. We have the High Priestess, which I usually view as Pisces energy. The Eight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy. And the Knight of Cups, which is also actually the court card for Pisces. So looking at 2 cards that, to me at least, at the very least, this one is Pisces. This one usually is Pisces for me too. And then seeing the Virgo axis could just be saying that you guys are really thinking about making some investments. So for a lot of you, I feel like this will be more of a financial thing. And, you know, I feel like this is saying that you guys are really kind of trying to trust your intuition as far as, you know, where the best place to invest your finances would be. Possibly even investing in yourselves if you guys are thinking about going into business for yourselves, for example. And then actually it looks like you will be acting on that this month. See if anything else comes to mind with this. And for some of you, it could be a water sign that you may be dealing with as well. Maybe thinking about how to work things out with them. All right, and in the challenger obstacle position, we have the Six of Cups, which is Scorpio energy. King of Wands, which is the court card for your sign. And we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy. So again, I'm getting kind of a similar vibe here as far as this can be around investments for some of you. And if that's the case, could just be saying that, you know, it might be investing in something that you might have had a passion for as a child. So for some of you, like I said, it could be you guys going into business for yourselves and investing in that. But for others of you, it could just be saying, you know, maybe you think back to something you were passionate about when you were younger and then actually making the decision to invest in that. Let me see if anything else comes to mind with this. Now, Scorpio energy for you guys represents your 4th house too. So it can be around the family dynamic, but for most of you, I really do feel like this is more financial than anything. And it could just be saying that you might actually feel like the funding for whatever your investments are is actually taking longer than you'd hoped. In the foundation position, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is actually the court card for Gemini. And of course, we're going to have a lot of Gemini energy in June, but also, obviously, this usually comes up for me in my readings when there's Mercury retrograde situation going on, which we will have in June, and it will actually be in Gemini. So it's going to be a little bit more intense than we're used to. And given the fact that we did have the 3 show up for you guys, which is communication, you definitely might want to be on the lookout for that. Make sure that, you know, there's no misunderstandings with communication. This could be possibly rushing around communication. Could be someone toward you or vice versa. But yeah, I feel like it's just saying, you know, try to pace yourselves when it comes to movement and communication this month. All right. In the past position, we have the 9 of Cups, which is Pisces energy, and 4 of Swords, which is Libra energy. So, you know, seeing the Pisces energy coming up again, I'm really getting for the majority of you, this is going to be more of a financial thing. But for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you've been undergoing a healing process in the past as well. and actually restoring your self-esteem. So maybe that could have been part of why you guys were withdrawn as well. And that Eight of Pentacles in that regard could be saying, you guys might have been working on building up your self-esteem again. So, maybe you guys have gone through a rejection in the past or something like that. And actually, we're doing the work to heal from that. All right. In the present position, we have Temperance. So this is actually the major arcana for Sagittarius. And of course, at the time of recording this, it hasn't happened yet, but toward the end of May, we're actually going to have a full moon eclipse in Sagittarius. So it could be pointing to that. That'll be in your 5th house, which is the house that Leo naturally rules. So there could be definitely a significant shift of energy for you guys there. And it would most likely be more supportive for you in that regard, given that it's a fellow fire sign. But yeah, looks like if there is some hesitation you guys have had around the situation, look for that eclipse to actually help shift things in a positive direction. Speaking of the moon and eclipses, in the near future position, we have the moon. So it could just be saying, to understand that you might not see things very clearly on the surface, and you might have to feel your way through a situation. So being in that high priestess energy in that regard is definitely a positive, because it's saying that, you might actually have to navigate your way through something on a bit more an intuitive level, because, what you see on the surface might not be exactly the way the situation is. Now, I'm not seeing this in the area of deception necessarily, but just more of, having to do a little bit of digging to make sure that you're fully understanding what you're looking at around situations. And this could just be an indicator to pay attention to the lunar cycles this month too. So, of course, we already talked about before we technically get into June, there's going to be that full moon eclipse in Sagittarius. There's going to be a new moon eclipse in Gemini, which is your 11th house, and then full moon toward the end of the month in Capricorn, which is your 6th house. So if this is around work, daily routine, that would have some significance for you guys too. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the King of Swords. So this is actually Aquarius energy here. So on the one hand, this could just be saying that you guys are really trying to incorporate, trying to create win-win situations, basically, where you're taking other people into consideration with any moves that you're making. Now, of course, that could be in the business sense, where what I was mentioning, where you're really trying to tap into, okay, what do people want right now, right? To see if you could provide that service for them. That's one way it could be playing out. But for some of you, this could also just be saying that you might be a little bit tight-lipped around what you're working on too, which, to be honest with you, given the overall spread, that might not be the worst idea. So, as opposed to just sharing your ideas with everyone and kicking those ideas around, this might be more of a month to, again, with that high priestess energy, to actually kind of feel your way through a situation as opposed to talking it through with everyone, because, you might have that next great idea, but then someone might try to steal it from under your nose. So definitely be on the lookout for that. All right. In the environment position, we have the 5 of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here as well. And this is exactly the type of dynamic I was talking about, where, like I was saying, if it's a work environment situation, or even just where you're thinking about releasing a product or a service, you might want to, keep that as quiet as possible during this month, just because there could be someone around trying to actually steal your thunder around that situation. This could just be, again, another indicator of what I was pointing out as well, to be mindful of the fact that there is going to be that Mercury retrograde in Gemini throughout June. So, even when it ends, it'll still be in shadow for pretty much most of the rest of the month. So just be on the lookout for potential miscommunications. And again, feel your way through something, any information that you receive this month, and try not to be very reactive to it, because it could escalate a situation where that might not have been, there might not have been a negative intention behind what was said or done, but it might appear that way if you don't actually take the time to integrate it. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Ace of Wands. So yeah, looks like you're definitely ready for a fresh start, and we talked about those energies where it looks like you're thinking about how best and where and when to invest your resources. So it could just be pointing to that. And of course, like I said, Mars will be moving into your sign around the middle of the month. So that could be when you're really going to be ready to actually take action on it. Whereas right now, as it's still traveling through your 12th house, that could be why you're getting all these ideas behind the scenes, but could just be saying that the better time to actually bring it out would be toward the second half of the month. And in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Swords. So definitely seeing this as a bit of like an epiphany energy for you guys this month. So again, just really try to stay tapped into your intuition this month, knowing that, like I said, the energy of Mars wrapping up its transit through your 12th house, and then Venus will actually move in there as well. So, intuitively, you might get some really positive hits as to what the next best direction should be for you guys. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Cups. So this is actually Pisces energy. So again, your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, investments still primarily. So like I said, for a lot of you, I feel like this is around investments. And if that's the case, this looks like those could go fairly well for you guys this month. And of course, that this is around the love as well, given that we see the lovers beneath that too. Looks like you get some pretty good forward momentum with that as well. All right, moving on to your oracle card, we have chop wood. There's the artwork, and the number is 42. So we'll see what it says. Okay, it says being grounded in everyday experience, humility. The oracle's message. There are times when a big dream is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life. Consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delighting in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off dead leaves, watering the soil, and then leaving it be to let nature take its course is an important step in manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goal brings you into a state of receptivity. This is the deeper purpose for releasing attachment. When you engage in everyday tasks in a meditative, contemplative way, you clear your energy to receive your aha moments, which brings you ever closer to what you seek. So, pretty positive message there. And when I mentioned the aha moments, that brings me back to what I was saying there with the High Priestess and the Knight of Cups energy, the Moon, even, the Ace of Swords. It definitely looks like you guys could get some epiphanies this month, so be on the lookout for those. The relationship message says nothing is as important right now as just doing what you need to do day to day. Let your heart remember that not everything has to be hard won, passionate, or even obviously meaningful. Relationships and friendships go through lulls when the everyday tasks are at the center of awareness. That is perfect now. Hold hands, wash dishes, make a fire, read a book, share a meal, say nothing, stare into space, pick up socks, tell a dumb joke, and leave space to breathe. The work of your relationship right now is very simple, just to be present. Funny how it takes work to just be. All is well, really. So pretty positive message there, and Venus will actually be in your sign. I'm trying to think of when. I think toward the very end of the month. So as far as love matters, those could actually pick up for you guys toward the very end of June. And prosperity. The prosperity message says now is the time to take small steps rather than larger steps on the journey to creating your most prosperous life. Move your focus off your big dream and attend to the mundane chores. Focus on the little things that may have piled up while you've been mapping out the greater plan for the life you aspire to manifest into reality. Chop wood, carry water, as the Zen proverb advises, or wash dishes, walk the dog. While you're doing all that, Spirit will have a chance to move mountains and set wondrous miracles in motion for you. Remain humble and aware of the present. So pretty positive message there. So again, I feel like it's calling back to what I was feeling as far as, like I said, it looks like intuitively you guys might get some really good ideas this month. And then I feel like the rest of that message is kind of emphasizing, which is perfect for the timing as far as, we're going to have the Mercury retrograde that I mentioned. So it could just be saying, try to let the ideas flow to you for the time being. And then the better time to take action might be as we get later into the month of June and into July. All right. And lastly, we have a Mudra for you guys. So the Mudra you got is the Mushti Mudra. There it is there. Keyword for it is centering. And there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says reduces anxiety and nervousness, strengthens the digestion and assimilation, eliminates nightmares, calms the mind, imparts a sense of centeredness within the body, reduces fatigue, and increases overall vitality. So if that sounds like something that would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of the Mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.